What if I told you that the greatest quarterback of all time may not be the greatest quarterback of all time? What if the greatest quarterback of all time was actually the second best quarterback of all time? Tom Brady, 7 Super Bowls, more wins than any NFL franchise in history, the undisputed GOAT. And then there's Patrick Mahomes, 2 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs, and playing the style that looks like it was created in the lab specifically to break football. So here's the question. Is Mahomes already on track to surpass Brady? Or is this debate happening way too soon? Because if we're being honest, what Mahomes is doing right now is something we've never seen before. To understand just how absurd this debate is, we have to go back to 2000. Tom Brady wasn't even a top 5 quarterback prospect when he entered the NFL. He was slow, scrawny, and got drafted 199th overall. Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought this guy would become the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, I even asked his mama, and his mama said, yeah, no. And yet, 20 years later, he holds every major passing record, 7 Super Bowl rings, and a resume that looks like a Madden cheat code. And this is where things start to get really insane. Through their first 6 seasons as starters, Mahomes has more passing yards than Brady did, more touchdowns, more MVPs, more Super Bowl appearances, and get this, if Mahomes continues on this pace, he's on track to pass Brady's career total yards, touchdowns, and MVPs in fewer years. But here's the part nobody talks about. Tom Brady's greatest stat isn't a stat after all. It's longevity. Because the real reason Tom Brady's the GOAT isn't just because he was great. It's because he stayed great. And this is where things get tricky. Brady never had the biggest arm. He never made the highlight plays that Mahomes does. But he dominated football for 2 decades and played in an NFL that was built for defense first. Mahomes, on the other hand, he plays in a league where passing records are shattered every year. He plays in an era where defenders can't breathe on quarterbacks. And most importantly, he hadn't had to chase success. He's been surrounded by it. The real question isn't if Mahomes is better. The real question is, can he do it for 20 years? Because Brady didn't just win Super Bowls, he reinvented how long a quarterback could dominate the game. Here's a look at the current projection for Patrick Mahomes' career. You can see at the top, Tom Brady, over 20 years. Joe Montana, 16 years. Peyton Manning, 18 years. Drew Brees, 20 years. And the current projection for Patrick Mahomes is about 20 years. Here's a look at the current projected stats if Patrick Mahomes plays for 20 years in the NFL. The x-axis has the years in the NFL. The y-axis shows the total number of yards. As you can see, if Patrick Mahomes plays for 20 years, he should have about 80,000 passing yards. If he plays 20 years in the NFL, who knows how many Super Bowl rings Patrick Mahomes will have. But one thing is clear, he will have more passing yards than Tom Brady. So here's the wildest part. Mahomes doesn't need 6 or 7 rings to be considered the GOAT. What if he gets 4 or maybe 5, but dominates in a way that we've never seen before? Is that enough? And if Mahomes is already ahead of Brady's pace, what happens if he does actually play into his 40s? Is this debate already over before we even realize it? Brady is the greatest winner in NFL history. Mahomes is arguably the most gifted quarterback the league has ever seen. So tell me, what matters more? Rings or talent? Longevity or dominance? One thing is for certain. No matter what you believe, if Mahomes keeps playing like this, we might have to reopen the GOAT debate a lot sooner than we thought. Thanks for watching GOAT Nation Sports. Be sure to hit that like button and leave us a comment. We'll catch you guys next time.